Gentlemen, welcome back to Becoming a Better Man. I'm Eli. And today we're going to be discussing how to handle libido differences with your partner. I was checking out the Reddit forums earlier today and came across this very interesting posting by a gentleman that was discussing, how do you handle these libido differences when you have a higher libido than your partner? And I'll just start off by saying this. You need to try to figure out how to gauge that from the moment that you first meet. Because when you first meet someone, let's say you meet them from online dating, like most people do nowadays, that first night you meet, you're going to know within 3 seconds. 3 seconds if there's a large rush or spark of sexual attraction. And if that large rush or spark of sexual attraction is there, you're going to be making out with that woman. She's going to be making out with you. And you're just going to feel that tremendous amount of passion. But if you get with someone that is passionate with you, but not as passionate or kind of a little standoffish or reserved, that tells you a lot right out of the gate. So guys, if you have a high libido and you like a lot of intimacy with your special partner, you need to try to figure out how to gauge that from the very beginning. Because if not, it is going to create problems down the road. Now, here's the thing. Is there such a thing as too much sex? I'd probably say not, but, sometimes everybody needs a little bit of a break, even people with the highest libido. Both men and women are working nowadays, and we get tired, we get exhausted. And sex can be exhausting. It does take a lot of energy to be intimate with someone. It's almost kind of like working a second job. You go to work for 10 hours a day, and you're tired. And then, when you're intimate with somebody, it is kind of like working a second job, right? And there are going to be some times where you need some rest, and both you, the man and the woman, need a break. That's understandable, right? Additionally, people get injured kind of like over the last couple of years. I herniated a disc. I'm almost fully healed now. But, during, the past 2 years and stuff, it's been a lot harder for me to move around. And I'm getting better. I'm almost completely healed now. But there are still some times, where I'm still able to be intimate with my partner, but I get tired much more quicker because I'm still healing from my injury. And if that is the case, your partner should have an understanding regarding that. If I had to gauge what a good amount of intimacy is, to know that you're both into each other and you're both on track, I would say if you are intimate or have sex with your partner, at least 50% of the time that you're with them, meaning that if you see your partner on the weekends and you're with them 8 days out of the month, if you have sex once or twice, at least on 4 of those days, then you are doing enough. Now, I've been with women in the past where I would see them on the weekends and we have sex 2 times, maybe 3 times on each of the weekend days. It just all depends. It depends on, what's happened to you during the week, what's happened to the woman during the week. Are you both feeling okay? Are you 100%? Are you going through an injury or something? You have to have a certain type of tolerance for it. But if everything is 100% and both of you are okay and one person is just kind of like withdrawing and not really wanting that much intimacy from you, that's basically also saying that, they're probably really not as into you as you're into them. Or maybe they have some traumatic issue to the point of where they're not the most sexual person. They want to be with you, but when they're intimate with you, it reminds them of an unresolved traumatic issue. Maybe they were sexually abused or something like that. You need to talk with your partner if that happens and get to the bottom of it. And if they're not willing to talk about that type of an issue, if they shut you out, at that point is your cue to end the relationship and move forward with somebody that's, with somebody that's, more available. So let's get to this Reddit posting here, and let's read what the original poster wrote. Let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser screen. This is from the Purple Pill Debate subreddit, one of my favorite subreddits on Reddit. And the original poster states, look what he puts up here. Former nice guy. Oh, all right, dude. So you've been a really nice guy and you're kind of figuring it out. That's probably another reason why you're not getting as much sex as you feel you should be getting, because you're being too nice of the guy and you're not being man enough to turn on the woman. What turns on women is when a man is strong, he's independent, he's not bothered by certain things she says. Women are going to try to test you all day, every day. They're going to try to derail you off your masculinity without even realizing it. And it's how you handle that. Women, no matter what they say, they want you to put them back in their place when they're going through those moments. They need you to put them back in their place, whether they admit it or not. And when you do it and you call them out on their shit and you do it right, they're going to react for a second and they're going to be like, whoa, what the hell? What's my man doing here? But at the same time, they're going to be like, wow, I'm so turned on right now because my man is standing up to me and he's not putting up with my crap. Now I want him, right? So maybe it's about how this guy showed up, calling himself a former nice guy. So the original poster states, how would you handle libido differences with your partner? This is a question for women. And this is what he writes. He writes, how do you currently handle this, and how would you likely handle this? Imagine you are the lower libido person, and the both of you are trying stuff, maybe reducing stress, introducing variety, seeing a doc, and getting blood tests done. Well, that's a little extreme, dude. If you have to go to that extreme, come on, man. Maybe she's not the right woman for you. Maybe she's just not feeling it. Maybe she has unresolved traumatic issues regarding sex. You just don't know. Nothing is working. You can't diagnose it or say it is a medical condition and the meds aren't working for you. You talking about a woman you've been seeing, bro? Nothing is working out and your partner has a high libido and he is feeling unloved, undesired. Something you're complaining, dude. It sounds like you found the wrong woman. You just have to let her go and find someone that's more into you, bro. Would you ask him to use porn and handle it? This guy's probably in his 20s, very little experience. Would you fake libido and lie to him? Some women will do that. And, that's just ridiculous. Would you talk to him and ask him to lower his demands? Well, if you have to do that, it wasn't meant to be. Two people that were naturally meant to be together are just going to flow sexually and have sex when the time is right. There's going to be no right or wrong time. It's just going to happen naturally whenever, they're around together and they feel like doing it, right? There's no schedule for it. There shouldn't be. I'm curious what all methods you will be open to considering. If you feel asexual and don't want to have sex at all, how about then? Well, I don't have a lot of experience dealing with asexual people, but I have heard of it. And, it's, I don't know. I mean, if you're with somebody that's asexual and they just want to hang out and there's no intimacy, there's no relationship there. None at all. Is sexual incompatibility a good enough reason to divorce? Absolutely. But see, you should have figured that out before you got married. You see, a lot of you guys nowadays will settle for a hot woman. And you settle for her because this is a woman that was trying to hook up with the Chads and Tyrones when she was younger, typically in her 20s or early to mid-20s. By the time women reach their late 20s to early 30s and they know their biological clock is ticking and they can't get the Chads or Tyrones that they really want to settle down with them and marry them and have a family with them, then they'll go to the beta male providers. And it kind of sounds like, dude, you said former nice guy, you probably have been a beta male provider, right? And she really wasn't with you for the right reasons in the first place. She settled for you because the Chads didn't want to settle down with her and have a family with her, right? So she's just really not that into you sexually. She's not attracted to you in that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's hooking up with Chads and Tyrones behind your back, bro. But yes, is sexual incompatibility a good enough reason, a good enough reason to divorce? Absolutely. But again, you should have figured this out while you were dating her. But she probably pushed you to marriage. And I don't know if you two have kids or not, but yeah, maybe she just wanted to have kids with you and wanted someone to provide with her or provide for her for a while. And that's what's going on, bro. You are the beta male provider. Beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon. All right, let's go to the comments section and see what was written there. All right, let's see. I have more sex than I spontaneously want to, and he has less sex than he would ideally want to. I don't see a lack of libido as a reason not to have sex with my significant other. So this woman has more sex than she would spontaneously want to, and he has less sex than he would ideally want to. What that's telling me there is that this is another woman that settled for the beta male provider, right? Or a guy that's a beta male that actually wants a relationship because she couldn't get that from the Chads and Tyrones. This is exactly what's happening, guys. You beta male guys need to toughen up and, basically, have the attitude of the Chads and Tyrones, but with one difference. You actually want a real relationship and you're willing to be faithful, right? The Chads and Tyrones, they, just want to play around, right? So you guys just are not properly qualifying your women as best as you can. You are settling because it's probably the only hot woman that has given you attention. You're enamored by her looks, right? And she probably sweet talks you into a relationship or marriage, right? But she's really not that into you. A woman that's really into you is not going to say, I have more sex than I spontaneously want to, and he has less sex than he would ideally want to. It should be more equal. It should be natural. And you both should just feel like doing it when you want to. I mean, any woman that would talk about me in this way, I would can her ass. I'd be out. I don't see a lack of libido as a reason not to have sex with my significant other. Well, you're just not attracted to him as much as you want to be, man. You settle for him. He's understanding about fatigue and stress when those are applicable. I understand fatigue and stress. I understand about injuries, right? But even then, you can still snuggle and make out. You don't even have to have sex, right? There are things you can do even when sex is not a possibility. The act of sex and penetration and the movement is what exudes the most energy, right? And if you're stressed out and you have fatigue and stuff, you can at least still snuggle up and kiss and cuddle and do all that, right? And I'd be satisfied with that during times, where my partner wouldn't want to be intimate. I would understand that, but I've never really had that issue because I don't date women that aren't into me. And I figured that out from the very beginning, right? He's also not pushy at all, nor am I frigid and frequently turning him down. Well, it sounds like he's a beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon. He's not assertive, man. And women are attracted to strong, confident, assertive men that are great leaders, right? And are not perturbed by, women challenging them, right? It sounds like you wear the pants in the relationship, man, and you're exuding more masculine energy and he's exuding more feminine energy. But then you're saying, nor am I frigid and frequently turning him down. Okay. This doesn't sound like a fun relationship. It sounds like you both just kind of settled for each other and you're in a codependent relationship, which is not good. I make an effort to initiate and he appreciates it. Okay. Well, how often do you do that? Right? The woman I'm with right now, my God, that woman's a firecracker. I swear to God, I think I found a woman that actually likes sex more than I do. And I like it a lot. But man, wow. I mean, yeah, she's into me. And that's what you want. That's what you want. I would never consider opening the relationship. If he wanted it multiple times daily and couldn't compromise, we would break up. You see, ma'am? See, the bottom line is you're not willing to compromise. You wrote, if he wanted it multiple times daily and couldn't compromise, we would break up. So, ma'am, you're wearing the pants. You're behaving more like the man in the relationship, and he's behaving more like the woman. And that's why the sexual polarity is not there. Guys, you have women that are wearing the pants. You guys are so beta nowadays. It's so ridiculous. You have women coming out here and writing what this woman just wrote, and you wonder why the divorce rate is so high and people are breaking up and people are cheating and this and that. You guys need to wake up and smell the coffee. Now, the next comment is by the original poster, Mark Freed, original poster, former nice guy. And he responds to what that last person wrote, a lack of libido as a reason not to have sex with my significant other. And he responds to that last lady's comment and says, I mean, no libido means you are not feeling up to it. Right. It means that, listen, even if you have an injury, even if you're not feeling good, if you're sexually attracted to your partner and you really love them and you're really into them, they're going to at least try to snuggle up with them or show them some kind of affection all the time, even if you're not penetrating them. So these people are just with the wrong people. And I had to say it in this case. Yes, the men are at fault for not seeing this, but the women are also more at fault for settling for the beta male provider because they haven't been able to get what they want from the Chads and Tyrones. That's what's happening here, right? That's what's happening. These women are settling because they're running out of time, their biological clock is ticking, and they need to lock someone down right now to provide for them and have a family with them before time runs out. I guess I was thinking in a chronic manner. It sounds like acute reasons like temporary stress and fatigue are understood by him as he should. It sounds like you are a catch. Do you think your friends are like you? Do they take an effort to initiate? Dude, you have this all wrong. You're still a nice guy beta man, bro. The bottom line is that she's not a great catch because she is wearing the pants. She's in control of that relationship, and she settled for the beta male provider. Kind of like your woman settled for you, a beta male provider. You guys are both beta mons, beta mons, beta mons, beta mons, beta mons. Now, I emphasize this, guys, not trying to be rude and mean, but I want you guys to really see what's really happening here, that they're not writing in this forum, right? So you don't get confused and make the same mistakes, right? And learn how to better stand up for yourself. Learn to become a better man, which is the point of this channel, right? Does he know when you are just humoring him, or do you put in the effort to appear interested in the sex? I don't think this guy has a clue. He's a beta mod. He settled for a hot chick that finally started paying attention to him, and she settled for a beta male provider because the Chads and Tyrones wouldn't give her what she wanted. That's what's happening here. Are you actually enjoying the sex, or is it just the pleasure of seeing him happy that sustains you? She's with him for the provider services, for him providing, right? The beta male provider is what I'm trying to say. How frequent would you be satisfied with? What would the minimum be? How much is now? So now this woman is responding below. This is pretty interesting. She responds to, I mean, no libido means you are not feeling up to it, which is what the original poster asked her in response to her, former comment. No idea about my friend's sex lives or attitudes towards initiating sex, honestly. He knows it is mostly for him, but I usually try to give us a better experience than just laying there waiting. That's pathetic, man. You are using this guy as the beta male provider. He knows it's mostly for him. Why wouldn't it be for the both of you? Intimacy, sex, love, romance is a dual effort. It is a thing for the both of you. It sounds like, ma'am, that you're just kind of putting up with it so you can extract his resources because you couldn't get those resources from the guys you really wanted to get them from, the Chads and Tyrones. This is pathetic. Then she responds to uh, the original poster stating, "You actually enjoying the sex, or is it just the pleasure of seeing him happy that sustains you?" And then she writes, "It is irrelevant." It is irrelevant. Are you out of your mind? It's completely irrelevant. You're just not into him. You're getting called out on using this guy for his resources and settling for the Betamon provider. Betamon provider. Betamon provider. Oh my God. Nothing is sustaining me in that sense. Then why are you still with him? For his money, his resources? Because you can't get it from Chad? I love him, and I know he likes sex, so we have sex. That's bullshit. You don't love him. You love his money. You love what he provides for you, ma'am. I love him, and I know he likes sex, so we have sex. Like, we might listen to a show I don't particularly feel like hearing at the moment. Ma'am, you just sound angry and bitter, man, because you couldn't get the guys you really wanted, so you settled for a nice guy, beta provider. And in order to keep him around, or to keep it appearing like you're into him, you have to force yourself to be intimate with him. That's pathetic, man. That's pathetic. When I'm not in the mood, I would honestly just rather sleep or read, but it is hardly some Herculean effort. This is pathetic. I think I'd be satisfied with weekly or monthly probably, but I don't know. Weekly or monthly? Monthly? That wouldn't work for me. Oh man, this guys, if you can't see clearly here that this woman is clearly using this guy as a beta male provider, you're out of your mind. Guys, pay close attention to this. Okay, if you come across a woman like this, you got to get out. We've never gone anywhere near that. It's 3 to 7 times a week. Daily is my arbitrary goal. Less is after a bad night's sleep, or this week, LOL, since he's currently getting surgery. Okay. I don't understand that. So you do it 3 to 7 times a week, which is actually pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You said daily is my arbitrary goal. Less is after a bad night's sleep. Or this week, LOL, since he's currently getting surgery. I don't want sex daily in the libido sense. But we're young, and he's horny, and a good lover, so I try. What? Wait a minute here. So, listen to this woman. This is making no sense here. This is God, women are emotional beings. They respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. She goes, I don't want sex daily in the libido sense. Okay, so your desire to have sex with him daily is not there because you're not attracted to him, man. If you were, you would desire it daily. Doesn't mean you have to have it daily, but desiring it and having it are two different things. But we're young, and he's horny, and a good lover, so I tried. He's horny, a good lover, and you're still not that into him. He must be a very physically unattractive guy. Maybe he smells like BO. There's something that's repelling you from him, or, ma'am, you have unresolved sexual issues. Maybe you were sexually abused as a child, or there's something, ma'am, that's just not right here. He's horny, a good lover, right? He's a good lover? I don't get this woman here. This woman has some unresolved issues. If I was this dude, I would run for the hills. If the amount of sex we were willing to have was a major incompatibility between us, we would break up. I think that's a great reason to break up. Resentment can really poison the relationship. Ma'am, you've got unresolved issues, and you're not being real, not only with him, you're not being real with yourself, ma'am. You're not only hurting him, but you're hurting yourself. Wow. Wow. We are at 24 minutes. Let me read a few more here before we wrap this one up here. The original poster responds to it is 3 to 7 times a week, what the lady wrote in the last comment. Wow, nice stuff. Happy for you guys. How old are you both? Do you both work out, play any sports? And she writes back and says 25 and 27. So she must be 25, he must be 27, I assume. No exercise to speak of except I bike or walk everywhere. That's good. That is exercise, man. Walking and biking is exercise. So this woman is so confused. No exercise to speak of except I bike or walk everywhere. Man, that's a contradicting statement. We're both at a healthy BMI. Man, you're still in good shape at 25 because you walk and bike everywhere. That's fantastic, man. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. Yeah. Okay. You're both at a healthy BMI level, so it sounds like he's in good shape. He's attractive. What's the problem here? I think 3 to 7 times a week is pretty reasonable for a couple in their 20s who are in the honeymoon phase. We've only been together for a year and a half. I don't expect to maintain this exact rhythm for decades. Why not? Ma'am, you're overthinking this, ma'am. 3 to 7 times a week? That's a good amount of sex, especially a year into the relationship, for a year and a half into it, right? That's not bad. I mean, honestly, even at my age right now, at 48, I would be satisfied, with 3 to 7 times a week. Sure. If I was living with someone now, when I'm not living with someone, I see them a couple times a week, we typically are going to be intimate, probably somewhere from 2 to 5 times a week, something like that, depending how many times we do it, the few days we spend together. So yeah, this sounds pretty normal. Like, I just don't get where this woman is coming from. She's got some kind of issues. Or maybe she's just unhappy that she settled for a non-chatter Tyrone. But she's been with this guy for a year and a half. She's 25. She got with him at 23 and a half. So maybe she's just still young, and maybe she has other options, and maybe, I don't know. I just think this woman is just not happy with this guy. How do you work yourself up to being able to do it every day? It should be natural. What you folks are not understanding is that you don't need to sit there and work yourself up or overthink it. You're either into the person from the very beginning or you're not. You qualify the person that you are dating the first time you meet them. You see the first time you meet them, how that first date goes. And if you both have a large rush or spark of sexual attraction, that's going to propel you through the rest of the relationship, right? And if that's not there from the very beginning, you don't see that person again, and they don't see you, and that leaves a space open to find someone you're more compatible with. Wow. I'm the two partner. I don't know what you meant by that. 2 eyes. I'm the second partner, 2 partner. My husband would be thrilled if I could do things every day. Right now, we do something every few days and actual sex about once a week. I want to get better with it. We used to have a ton of resentment on both ends, but we're being better toward each other now, and it's been nice. See, what's happening is you guys are settling for each other. Women are settling for beta males because the alpha males, the Chads and Tyrones, won't settle for them, right? And these women are just not really that sexually attracted to the guys they're settling for, but they like how nice of a guy they are and how well they provide, right? These women still want a good provider, right? But they also want the guy they're going to be super sexually attracted to, right? And what's happening is they're getting half the aspect from the Chads and Tarots regarding the sexual desire, and then the other half of the aspect they're getting from the beta male provider, right? So they're not feeling the sexual attraction for the beta male, but they're getting him to provide, right? And they are feeling the sexual attraction from the Chads and Tyrones, but the Chads and Tyrones won't provide, right? This is what's happening, right? And these women are settling for beta mons, beta mons, beta mons, beta mons, beta mons. We used to have a ton of resentment on both ends, but we're being better towards each other now, and it's been nice. Okay, well, hey, best of luck to you. Still sounds like you settled for the beta mon. All right, let me see here. We are at 29 minutes. One more here, and then we're going to wrap it up. I guess there's no working myself up to it. I don't see sex with a loving partner as something I have to always want to do when I do it. It should be natural. And it kind of sounds like you're overthinking it, so it's not natural. This woman has unresolved issues. That's the same woman that, wrote the first comment. Sometimes we are equally into it, often not. Well, if you're not often equally into it, that means you're probably not feeling it for him, ma'am. You're probably not really that attracted to him. You have a low level of attraction. He's probably, making up for it in different ways, aka being the beta male provider. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. My approach is just do it. Really, I'm no gymnast or anything. Our sex isn't that difficult on me physically. Then, ma'am, you sound like if you're making it a chore, man. You're making it sound like, oh, I got to do this again tonight because he's my boyfriend or my husband and we're living together and he's providing for me. That's what you sound like, man. You're making it sound like it's a chore, and that's pathetic. It wouldn't work if he was pushy and he made me feel like a sex object, though. Well, that's part of the problem, man, is that it's not about him being pushy. He's not being man enough for you. He's not turning you on enough to want him in that way. He's not calling you out on your shit, right? You're wearing the pants, man, and he's being the beta male provider, and it's turning you off. You just haven't figured it out yet. When you figure out that you're wearing the pants and he's the beta male provider, and you're not really that sexually attracted to him, and when another guy comes around and you do feel it for, you're going to leave him and go to the other guy. Man, you're just not into him. That's the bottom line. He's a very selfless and appreciative partner, so I don't have any negative feelings about him. He's a beta man, man. He doesn't stand up to you. You treat him like a doormat. This is obvious. I don't think I could give advice to a married couple. There's probably some history there that I have no experience with. We are still only a honeymoon phase couple. Ma'am, you've been together a year and a half. You're long beyond the honeymoon phase, ma'am. The honeymoon phase is typically 2 to 3 months. If you've been with him longer than 3 months, man, you're in a committed relationship that's long beyond the honeymoon phase, sister. Okay? You're just not into him. You are the masculine one in the relationship. You're acting more masculine than feminine, and he's acting more feminine than masculine, man. You do not respect this guy as a man, and it doesn't turn you on sexually with him. You put up with it because he provides financially for you. That's the bottom line. End of story. There's probably some history there that I have no experience with. We are still only a honeymoon phase couple. I just read all that. Every few days sounds like you're doing great. Ma'am, this is pathetic, ma'am. Ma'am, it's time to end this relationship and stop extracting this poor guy's resources and just putting up with having sex with him just so you keep getting the beta male provider to take care of you. This is pathetic, ma'am. All right, folks. That's going to wrap it up for this one here. We're at 32 minutes. Let's go back to full screen. Guys, have yourself a good one. We'll see you next time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bang the bell. Select all notifications. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye. We're out.